Brands aren't looking twice because your UGC portfolio is missing the it factor. Let's get into it. Hi everyone, if you're new here, my name is Tran, and you can usually find me on social media giving tips and tricks on how to become a UGC creator, and most recently, home decor and 2026 bride things. Today's video, however, is going to be about how to make your UGC portfolio stand out and make yourself look like a desirable creator. If you haven't yet seen my video on how to actually create a UGC portfolio website from scratch, step by step, I highly recommend you watch the video that I'm going to link right here. So getting hired as a UGC creator is very much two parts. It's the quality of your content and how discoverable you've made yourself. We're not going to talk about this one yet because this involves pitching and also personal branding and posting on social media and also networking. It's a lot more nuanced, so we're not going to get into that today. Before I get into it though, this is a disclaimer that your UGC portfolio is not going to be the end all be all, but because it is one of the main things that brands will be looking at, here are some details you can kind of add into your portfolio to zhuzh it up and hopefully keep them from choosing another creator. So the first detail I like to give is just keep it simple, stupid. You don't need a very long about me section. If anything, it's actually going to be more beneficial for you and the person reviewing your portfolio if you don't have like a long about me section or even like a 2-minute about me video. It's nice if you can just drop everything that we need to know inside bullet points that can be very easily read and understood. Definitely include your location and your age, just because these kind of demographic factors are going to be important for some people who are like in the middle of sourcing. Also adding your hobbies and the different content opportunities that they can probably see you in. One example I always like to point out, this is UGC by Nate. He's another UGC creator as well. And I really like how his about me section is split up. It's very well contrasted. It's not huge blocks of text. There's kind of like a border here, and it tells you like where you actually need to pull your eyes to, and goes on to give a little bit more context of his location too. It's, 15 minutes from the famous Sundance resort, also perfect for any mountain outdoor shots, and giving context of like why this would be valuable for a brand makes this a very powerful blurb. Same thing for why work with me. I love this part too. I think like these kind of like generic call outs you'll probably see in pretty much any type of portfolio, but like just give me the regular schmegular rundown. I have a beautiful family with 2 daughters. If you need a video with wife or kids involved, happy to do so. Another way that you can do it, even something like this. I really like how Luana here, it's kind of showing her goofy side, it's showing her personality, showing who she is, and she's not just content creator, she's not just a UGC creator, she's health and fitness gal. So she practices BJJ and soccer and like, all of these things. So I think this is actually a very cute and clever way of showcasing content opportunities and who you are without having to pull it out of a long paragraph. I definitely think showing rather than telling is always going to be a lot more effective. For my visual preference, I do think this could maybe feel a bit busy to some, but because we're getting very clear visuals of who she is and what she's about, I wouldn't have any complaints if I saw this inside a portfolio either. Going off of the same track, I think that it's gonna be design-wise a lot more beneficial for you to keep your portfolio honestly as clean and simple as possible. You want the main attraction to be overall your UGC examples. Down here, it's kind of with a blank background and bold text, and you have very minimal labels here. She's not over-explaining, there's not huge blurbs of paragraphs, and there's not too many graphics going on other than what it is that we need to see. If everything is standing out, nothing is standing out. This is also another UGC portfolio I like to reference as like a good example. I personally really like how clean everything looks. There's a lot more empty space than there are stuff. She also did kind of like a quick little short list of like who she is and what she's about, and I think this is super helpful. She has one bold color, just one, that she uses throughout her portfolio, and I think that's really great because you definitely want some contrast. If you're going to use one bold color, stick with that one bold color. Don't use another clashing color. And then your main color is something that can easily be seen against. You can see the background is not jarring, right? Which means our eye's gonna be pulled more towards the text and the visuals rather than like what's kind of going on around in the back. And then, you know, she's using that bold color to emphasize testimonials and social proof. This was created using the Squarespace portfolio template that I do sell. I'll go ahead and link that for you guys inside the description if you guys want a copy of that template. But I personally really prefer Squarespace over Canva. I talked about this in my previous video as well, but it's because you can have these things. You can have little tabs that can separate your work. So for example, she's separating her paid media examples from organic, and you can see like inside these tabs, she has quite a few videos in there, but everything looks pretty nice and clean. And it allows her to put in more examples so she can showcase a wider range. Tabs separating your work. I highly recommend having different tabs to separate your different portfolios, especially if you offer multiple kinds of services. So for example, I have my UGC in here, but I also have influencing. One thing I really want to mention is like separating your travel. There are definitely some people who I know they want to work with hotels, Airbnbs, local restaurants and stuff like that, but you don't want to get your experiential UGC examples and your product-based UGC examples too mixed up. That's why I kind of like to keep everything separate. Things that are more local and in-person shoots, I have a completely different travel portfolio for it. If you have a Canva portfolio, you're not going to be able to separate into tabs like this, so I just recommend creating an entirely new website portfolio that you can share, because like e-commerce brands, direct-to-consumer brands, brands that are selling products, things like local experiences, these examples are just not going to be relevant to them, and vice versa too. Everything is inside easy bullet points. There's a lot of empty space that's going around, and I have, you know, like some nicely shot eye-catching photos and some screenshots and stuff here, but like you kind of know where your eyes need to be pulled to. There's kind of, you know, it's separated into their own sections, and I try to keep the background not super busy. And then, you know, after that, go straight into your bread and butter. Show me the goods. I put like a general overview of like my best work that I wanted to showcase. Co-living space. This one is like a resort. This one is like a museum activity, and this one is like a local experience. So I have like a few videos of different establishments like in the same niche, but because they are my top performing videos, I also put in screenshots of, you know, the analytics in there. If you have screenshots to share, add the screenshot in. I would actually prefer this over something like this where it's all written out, just because visually you want photos rather than text. If you want to set up your regular UGC portfolio this way as well, everything is clear cut, straight to the point, not having a long explanation of like why UGC or why should you hire me or whatever. Like they're going to determine for themselves why it is that you are a good creator based on your actual work. You do not need to tell them why. Any type of portfolio, I think it's really nice if you can showcase not only direct response types of videos, so like videos where it's over edited, too many pop-ups, too many sound effects, it feels really busy and feels very salesy. Some brands are not really gonna like that, because some brands actually prefer the influencer style look. So if you are an attractive creator, you have a beautiful home, you can shoot in bright natural lighting, go ahead and do so, because if you can embody like influencer vibes, brands are definitely going to be gravitating towards you because you already portray this aspirational energy. You can kind of see her stuff is like very minimally edited, but it looks beautiful. Visually, it's nice to look at, it's well composed, she's not too close, she's not too far, and she's showing the product in her everyday lifestyle, in her everyday routine. She's not doing too much. She's letting the visuals speak for themselves, and she's changing the visuals frequently enough to keep us engaged. Her entire stuff feels very salesy and direct response and adsy. People might move on to a creator who feels more Instagrammable, if that makes sense. Things like Get Ready With Me, Day in the Lives. Make stuff that people are already ready to consume. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Do what has worked well and put it into your own style. What is it that like brands like to receive? Video does not have to be salesy in order to sell. I've actually had multiple brands reach out to me and say they liked this particular video and even wanted me to recreate like a version of it. I don't talk in it at all. There are no pop-ups whatsoever. I don't sell the product. I'm just truly utilizing and demonstrating the product and making it look nice.
Satisfying ASMR.
Like a little unboxing, and it feels a bit slower. It's kind of like how I would make my tea, and it's a 35-minute video of this, but you know, things are constantly moving. I'm only adding like maybe 1 to 2 seconds of every action shot, and so because of that, things feel like they're moving a little bit more. It's a bit more dynamic, but like, it's so simple. This did not take me that long to edit, and it did not take me that long to film either. You need to have minimal style type of videos inside your content along with ad style type of content. When you scroll through, everything just looks nice to look at. Things are bright. She's filming in front of, you know, bright windows. It's not over filtered compared to content like this that feel a bit dark, a bit filtered. And some brands, they really don't want to filter. They want to have natural lighting. This is another creator's portfolio that I personally really like. He just updated it. He used the Canva portfolio template that I provide inside my masterclass. You can also purchase that separately as well. I'll link that down below. It's not too busy. The sections are clearly separated. It's not too much happening in the background, and our eyes are immediately drawn to his UGC examples. And when you actually look at the video examples,
your training shoes can make or break your workout. The Noble Drive.
This makes me feel like this was shot on like a professional camera or something. It just looks really nice. It's clear, it's bright, it's clean. He's showing the product inside his regular everyday routine, laying out in the street, running in the gym, working out at the gym, things like that.
I absolutely love pumpkin spice latte. I'm gonna say deep.
I also really like that he kind of showed that little pop-up too. It shows that he has great editing, but like nothing too over the top. You really have to think to yourself, is my content nice to look at? If I didn't know who I was and I had no attachment to who I am right now, and I came across my video on TikTok or Instagram, would I actually stop to watch? Or is it too slow? Is lighting not very good? Am I not showing up on camera as engaging as I could be? Those are some things that you have to think about when it comes to actually like showcasing your example content. Here's what it actually looks like when you're not really changing up the angles of your videos as much. You don't really know what the product actually is. This creator basically took the same shot, and it took us 15 seconds to actually switch to another shot. If I'm listening with sound off, which most of the time people are scrolling on social media with sound off, would I want to actually stay longer than like 2 seconds on here? Or do I kind of feel like a bit bored already and I might just scroll on to the next one? If it's just the same shot of you in the same setting for all 30 seconds, you might not have made a strong enough video to actually hook everybody through. That was it for today's video. I hope that was a bit helpful to you guys, that I also showed some portfolio examples. If you guys want to grab my Squarespace portfolio template or my Canva portfolio template, I'm going to link that down in the description for you guys below. If you guys want even more in-depth tips, like really step-by-step walkthroughs of everything, I highly recommend you guys join my UGC masterclass. It's hosted on School. And if you join the masterclass, it actually comes with the Canva portfolio template for free. I hope that was helpful. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at tran.ugc and at heymtran, and also on TikTok at heymtran. See you guys in the next video.